Hi, friends. We're so glad you're here. The Big Ideas podcast exists to empower the next generation of entrepreneurs. Join us for unscripted conversations while you're at home with your kids or even just driving them around to activities. We hope these short but powerful messages will give you inspiration and encouragement for your next big ideas. Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Big Ideas podcast. I am Ashlee Ilg, and I'm really excited about this episode. It is definitely a fun seasonal talk, but really it's a good year-round reminder. So whether you're listening to this, in November or any other month of the year, I think it's relevant and always a good reminder about being thankful. And so, this episode is all about thankfulness, having that attitude of gratitude, and more importantly, teaching it to our children. That doesn't necessarily always come naturally for kids who might think that the world revolves around them or things may become a little too easy for them sometimes. I know I find myself always looking for opportunities to teach my kids how to be thankful and to look for ways to show appreciation for things that they really should be, that they're not automatic and they're not just expected to have something or get something or do something. And so, especially for this time of year, I thought, let's talk about thankfulness. Let's talk about how do we build that attitude of just being appreciative and just doing it ourselves so that we can teach by our example, right? I think every parent has learned or is learning that our children are learning more from watching us than they ever will of just listening to us talk or saying, you need to be more thankful. If they're not watching us be thankful or finding those maybe silver linings in difficult situations, then they're not going to learn as much, right? And so it all starts with us, which is both encouraging and frightening all at the same time. So this episode, we're really going to focus on why being thankful is important. I'm going to share a little story about our family that we went through this time of year last year that really shifted the way we focus on being grateful. It really just was a very eye-opening experience of, wow, we really need to, work a little harder, lean in a little bit more to just finding that appreciation for a situation that was really not fun. And then I'm going to wrap up this episode with a fun tradition that our family started a couple of years ago that has just been a really fun and tangible, practical way to let our kids show their thankfulness. So let's just jump right in. Why is gratitude and appreciation so important? I think we could easily probably answer that, but it's easy to say, oh, how are you doing? Oh, things are great. I'm good. Thanks. I'm fine. But what if you're really not? What if you're really having to look for those situations where, maybe a big thing or maybe small things, of things aren't really going your way, or maybe things aren't going as you thought they should go or would go, but still looking for those moments where we can shift our perspective and find ways and things to be thankful for. It's amazing how a small shift in our perspective can really create a big impact on our day, on our attitude, on our actions, on our conversations with other people. And so taking the time to find things to be thankful for really, really matters. It really goes a long way. I know I started a thankful or a gratitude journal that I add something to every single morning. It's become part of my morning routine. And it's a really fun way to just kind of center your mind and your heart on, wow, I have so much to be thankful for. I could sit here for hours and just keep listing them, and it's just a really great way to just start your day, kind of center your mindset on that. And building that positive mental attitude in ourselves will, like we mentioned earlier, it will overflow onto our kids. Not having that fake, Pollyanna plastic, everything's going to be just perfect mentality, but recognizing that this isn't awesome. This situation is hard, but we're going to find a silver lining. We're going to find something that we can learn from this experience. And if this situation brings us closer to God, if this situation helps us grow a closer relationship with each other, if this helps me overcome something that I need to overcome, then it might be hard, but it's going to be a silver lining to that situation. And so that definitely lends itself into the story I was going to share with y'all. So this time last year, Andy, my husband, was very, very sick. He lost about 20 pounds in about 6 weeks, maybe less than that, maybe a month. And it was pretty drastic. He was having having horrible gallbladder attacks. They had actually started months prior, but this time of year, by the fall of last year, he was just basically in excruciating pain. He could barely eat anything. He was living on some organic honey wheat pretzels and water. It was about the only thing that didn't trigger his gallbladder to start seizing, and it was horrible to watch somebody. If any of y'all have watched somebody that you love in pain, it is quite possibly the worst thing, because you're completely helpless. There's nothing you can do for them other than pray, and which is obviously a big thing you can do. But he was in and out of the emergency room. It was hard. We canceled a lot of things on our calendar. This time of year, we obviously had Thanksgiving. We also had Gavin's birthday, Andy's birthday, my birthday, Christmas, of course, and our anniversary, and all the things that also you like to add on your calendar in the month of December. Special holiday, Christmas events that we just literally could not get to. He could barely get out of bed most days, and if he did, he was very, very low on energy. And it wasn't just hard on him. I mean, he was in excruciating pain most days, but for our children to not only just watch their dad go through that, but also have to change their plans, or we'd be pumped that he was feeling better and we'd make plans, and then he'd have another episode and we'd have to cancel plans. And so that got really hard. And I would be lying to say we didn't have moments where we all just kind of felt sorry for ourselves, and we were just admittedly saying like, this stinks, this is not fair, we want to be able to do this, this is Christmas, this is how we always do it. And it really brought us to the points I was making earlier. It brought us to the point where we all grew our faith in the power of prayer, the power of healing. It also, very importantly, taught our kids and ourselves, but really in a practical way, taught our kids the value of taking care of our bodies and feeding it, good nutrition, and treating it like the vessel, God's temple that it is, and from a young age, because those bad habits will catch up to you. And if you don't put good things in, your body will rebel in one way or another. And they got a very up close view of what happens as a consequence of not being, disciplined with taking care of your body and making good choices in that way. And they to this day, I mean, I don't know that we've eaten fried food in a long, long time. And for those of y'all who know us, we eat pretty clean and pretty healthy anyway. But this was just another example of, not in a strict, like obsessive way, but in a way of just, your body needs good nutrition. It needs good fuel. It was designed to process good food and whole foods. And so that was a huge silver lining, honestly, because we can preach about being healthy and taking care of our bodies all the time, but sometimes they need to see the consequence of those choices sometimes too. Hey friend, I wanted to take a quick pause to ask if you've taken the quiz yet to find out what type of dreamer are you. It's super important to discover what's working for you, but also some things that may be keeping you from really pursuing your greatest purpose. It takes just 2 minutes to find out if you're the skimboarder, the sunbather, the sandcastle builder, or the surfer babe. So jump over to dreamerquiz.com and be sure to share your results and tag me in it. Now back to the show. And again, we found times that we learned new card games. We found the times that when Andy was able to get out of bed and we could sit around in our pajamas and just watch movies and relax and find that rest that isn't so typical in our household on a real regular basis. It was really sweet. There was a lot of good, relaxing family quality time in that season. And I will say too, this year, the kids have definitely made a list of all the things that we are not canceling because they paid their dues last year and they're ready to, go look at Christmas lights and go do the theater thing and just all the things that are some of our favorite family traditions for this time of year. And so we knew like this could be a lot worse. We will get next year to do it again. What are we learning in this? And so we did have to try extra hard. And in those difficult moments where it's easier to complain than to find things to appreciate celebrate or to be thankful for, when you do find them, it just feels a little bit extra sweet. And so, I just encourage you. I know this time of year can bring with it some hard feelings and just hard memories. And I just, I'm praying for peace, but I'm also, just encouraging all of us to take those times to celebrate what we can and find the silver linings when we can, and teach our kids, very intentionally to be thankful. Kind of shifting along to, with our kids, I think one of the biggest ways that I see maybe the appreciation or lack of appreciation show up is kind of having that attitude of, I have to do this, and they love it, sarcasm, when I say things like, do you mean you get to, fill in the blank? As an example, I think maybe the top couple would be, I have to go do my homeschool, and I'm like, oh, do you mean you get to do your homeschool, right? You get to come downstairs in your comfy clothes and sit next to your brothers and grab a snack if you want to, and you get to learn subjects that are, awesome and enriching, and using your, brilliant mind and learning new skills. Do you mean you get to, and they're like, okay, mom, we get to, you're right, it's awesome. Or chores, that's probably the other big one is, I have to go put my laundry away, or I have to go clean my room, or I have to go empty the dishwasher, and I'm like, I'm sorry, did you mean thank you, mom, for washing the laundry? Did you mean thank you, mom, for, cooking us food so we have dirty dishes? You mean you get to go put your clean laundry away in your bedrooms? You mean you have, a car to go clean, I think the other big one, I'm sure y'all can have a list of yours too, where I'm like, hey, can you guys go play with Liam so I can get some work done? And they're like, I have to go play with my brother, and I'm like, oh, you mean you get to play with Liam? Like, he's like the coolest little toddler brother, he's like our family mascot, we call him. Like, you mean you get to go play with him and create memories with him and, just make his childhood so special with having such big, older siblings? You mean you get to go do that, So again, just shifting that I have to mentality with I get to. It just a shift of words makes such a difference. And like I said, when you change that, just small shift, it can make such a big impact on our day, on our attitude, how we interact with everybody around us. And so, I hope that encourages you. One final thing I wanted to tell y'all about was a fun tradition that we started a couple of years ago. I think I got it from somebody, but I don't remember who. So if this was you and you're hearing this, message me and let me know that this was your idea and I stole it from you. But it's amazing. It's a thankfulness tablecloth. And so the idea is that you have a big white tablecloth and a bunch of colored Sharpie markers. And on Thanksgiving, although you could definitely do this any time of the year, but you put the tablecloth out on your kitchen table and at mealtime, and everybody gets, markers, and they just write everything that they can think of that they're thankful for on that tablecloth. And at the end of the day or the week, however long you keep it out, you wash it, fold it, put it away, and then next year you pull it out and you look and see all the things that everybody wrote last year on the tablecloth, and then you add to it. And so over the years, it just becomes this just full, just beautiful, the kids' handwriting is changing, like all the nostalgia of, what has changed over the years and all the things that they were thankful for then and they're thankful for now. It's such a great reminder of, oh man, that was really cool. I was really thankful for that. And it's one of my favorite things now is to pull it out and look and see what we've already written on it and to think of new things to add to it and just let the kids just go to town with writing on that. This year for Thanksgiving, we're going to be spending it in Charleston with my family, my parents, my grandma, my siblings, their kids, so my kids' cousins, and we're going to bring the tablecloth with us. And I'm so excited to have everybody add to the tablecloth and just make it more of like a family, a bigger family tradition. And I'm just so excited. And so, if you're able to grab a white tablecloth and some Sharpies, add it to your traditions. It's super easy, super special. And again, just a really great way, a practical, tangible way to see, just see what you're thankful for, to really think on those things, to really focus on, wow, we have so much to be thankful for, more than I realized, and giving our kids a chance to think on those things and to focus on those things and just, center their hearts and their minds on ways to be thankful. It goes so far. And so I have really enjoyed sharing with you guys today. I hope this has been encouraging. I can't wait to share again and hear your feedback. And we wish you all a super super happy Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us. Thanks again for listening, friend. We would love to hear what is really speaking to you in today's episode. It means so much to us, and we would love for you to take a screenshot of you listening to our podcast, share it on Instagram and Facebook. Definitely tag me in it so I can reshare it. Our kids especially really love hearing what you're getting out of our show, so it really means the world. Thanks again for joining us.